268.
Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dr. Meehy, I'm going to go for you. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Is that correct?
Good morning again. Guess it helps if I have the right camera on, right? There we go. Good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Round 2. We had some breaking news this morning. Breaking news this morning about the bridge collapse. The Francis Scott Key Bridge up in Maryland collapsed after being struck by a container ship. We covered that for a few hours this morning. It's good to be back here. We're ready for court, though. It's more of a typical broadcast. I have to say, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I went to the post office today, and the postmaster was there, and I'm like, "Hey, John, how you doing?" And he's like, "I've got so many packages for you." I'm like, "Well, my post office box had 3 little tickets in it." And he's like, "Yeah, I've got more than that." And sure enough, I brought out an armload of packages.
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way.
And these are all the birthday gifts that I have not been able to run and get because, plumbing and everything else happened. But thank you. Yes, I think I got a ton of gifts. I got artwork, I got books, I got crocheted items, I got things that will help me with construction as I repair my bathrooms. I have artwork. I mentioned the artwork already. Let me show you the artwork. I can't show everything because my kids are running around with some of it. The artwork, yes, it's a very well drawn bug, and this goes with the picture frame, which is on the other side of the room that I cannot reach. Thank you very much. Some of you teamed up with each other to conspire to make these things happen. Thank you very much. I got cashews, dill flavored cashews. Gifts were sent for my kids, for Mrs. R.A. It was like Christmas all over again. It was absolutely crazy. Thank you. Hey.
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.
Got some neighbor kids who need to be taught a lesson. Where were they from?
They were just walking through. I don't know.
I'm not a cat.
I'm about to have a get off my lawn moment. Where did they go?
They just walked down that way, but they saw me in the window and they ran away. I was like, "Hey, you're not doing anything good."
Okay. Okay. Neighbor kids. Some neighbor kids causing some ruckus in our yard. So, yeah, about that. What do you do with neighbor kids, right? We'll figure out that part. Anyway, to all those who sent gifts, thank you. I love you. I appreciate that. It was amazing. The book, oh my goodness, the morbid book. I cracked up at that one. I should not, but it was very funny. Yeah, I can't film it. It might be used against me. Can't see chats on screen. That's because I have not turned them on yet, but I will turn them on now. Boom.
Have them send someone with more
Britt Bottoms.
experience.
Let me first welcome. Is it Cherry or Sherry? I'm going to say Cherry. Cherry, congratulations. You were first in chat. And not only were you first in chat, you were first in chat with a description of what we're doing today, which is day one of testimony in the Arizona v. George Kelly trial. So I'm super excited. Congratulations. You won with a full-on typed-out statement.
Is that correct?
They were filming. They were like harassing my kids and filming it. That's what they were doing. So my kids were outside in the yard playing with the cat, and they came running on with their cameras and jumping on the tramp really quick and running off or type of thing. It's just good fences make good neighbors sometimes. Anyway, it was weird. It was weird. So
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way.
Right, 100%. So I'm trying to deliver a tree hedge message or a tree trunk message. One of the two. But I don't know who the parents are. They're not from around here, so I don't know where. Let's see. Did you see I was first when you went live with the Baltimore event? Britta, I did, but I felt, based on the situation, to be gifting the internet first thing in the morning when there was a major tragedy, I made an executive decision to skip that. But congratulations. You were also a winner today. Congratulations, Britta. Donna E., glad to find a place that's kind of normal with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. ATVs running in the freeway, bridges collapsing, etc. It's wild out there, Donna. It's wild. All right, Lois, good morning. Great to have you here, Lois Cox. Good friend of the program. Let's see. At least they're not taking over your trampoline like it happened. No, that's what they were doing and filming it, just running on as like, haha, as a prank. It's like for TikTok, a dare. We're going to run into the neighbors' yards and jump on the trampoline and then run away. But, yeah, my little kids are out there, and these are big kids, and I don't like that combination. So here's where we are. We are getting ready for court to begin in Arizona. We think it should start roughly in about 20 minutes. Cherry, I didn't fully tell you. I need to back up just a little bit. I need to fully inform you.
Bring the jury.
You were first in chat. It was quiet. It was silent. We were all resting. It was peaceful, and then you said this in chat. And as penalty for breaking the silence, we're going to send it to you with internet ownership. For the rest of the day, you are responsible for maintaining everything worldwide on the internet and that connects there too. So just a small thing. It's a punishment. Hopefully you learn your lesson. Yes, I will fully admonish you. I'm sure there's a standard operating procedures manual that has been crafted along the way from many other previous victims of this sentence. And so just go ahead and follow their advice and you'll get through just fine. Caught neighbor boys jumped from my roof onto a trampoline. Mary, if they jumped from my roof onto the trampoline would be not enough to save them. It's too far. That's like a 30-foot drop. That would not be good. My son comes in and he says, "Can we have these?" And I was trying to explain to them that this package, they actually meant they were for me, but it clearly says on there 4 little RAs. So yes, I guess you can have them. Make sure you share though with each other. Silky Mom, waiting on a plumber to call me. I feel for your construction problems. They're getting better. At least we have indoor plumbing again. It's wonderful. Let's see. They look yummy. There are yummy things. Oh, okay, so you're saying after the bathrooms are done, the fence is next, Courtney. I don't think I can do a fence. Well, I'm pretty sure my little town doesn't even have rules on fences. They didn't even have rules on how close to the property line you can build. That's how far, away from, modern days they are. But are we doing birthdays? Yes, we are. We're going to do birthdays now before we get too far. Let me scroll back. It looks like we have right here, we've got Kimberly Elms, Beverly, Sean, Esme, Emery, and Famous Amos. The cookies? Famous Amos? Wow. Yes, we have all those birthdays to sing to today, which means you guys get to sing with me this morning. I'm super excited about that. We get to lead the world's largest birthday choir right here live on YouTube. Let's see. We're going to sing to Kimberly, Beverly, Sean, Esme, Emery, Famous Amos, in that order. So everybody stand shoulder to shoulder, deep breaths. Let's warm up with me. La, 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 la. There were 6. So you can share with me. Are you coming to sing? You going to sing with me? No? You criticize me, and then you don't sing? Yeah. It's my soon-to-be adopted kid.
I can sing.
Yes, he can. Here we go. Let's sing together and celebrate these wonderful birthdays. Famous Amos 74 name is Amy. Okay, so Famous Amos, we say Amy when we get to that. Here we go. Everybody together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Kimberly, Beverly, Sean, Esme, Emery, and Amy. Happy birthday to you. Good job. I can hear you. You sang well, son. No, I won't adopt you out today as a reward. Thank you. For everyone who's celebrating a birthday today, it is a wonderful day to have a birthday. Congratulations. Appreciate all the dancers, the cha-cha-chas. The moves are looking great. Congratulations. If you're celebrating today, happy birthday. Please help yourself to the free pancakes at Denny's. Tell them I told you it would be okay, but also ask their permission in case they don't do that anymore. But a million people would probably want to be with you in a million places you could probably celebrate. You've chosen to be here with us. Thank you so much for that. Ooh, fireworks even? Wow. Fireworks show. What more could you ask? Happy birthday to everybody. This is your special day. Hope we can make it a little more specialer. Or specialist. Most special. All the specialness is coming today. Whatever the word is, good luck. Hope that comes to you today. All right. If a shipping boat is a ship, then a fishing boat is a fish. Adam. Deep Thoughts by Adam Nusky. My kids are eating Oreos and loving them. Thank you, by the way. All right, happy birthday. We're gonna turn that down a little bit here. Yes, son.
2 things you do wrong with birthday songs. 1, you get the words off beat because there are too many names, and 2, you get the words wrong because there are too many names.
He's critiquing my singing, my birthday singing. You're back on the adoption list. So, thank you. Have a good day. Love you. All right. Wow. We are. Tyler's got hot and spicy pickles, and he's watching his favorite YouTuber. That is awesome. Link the channel so we can all watch. Let's see. Never too early for Oreos. I agree. Okay, so here we are. Let's talk about court so we can get caught up, because in my head I'm still thinking about the bridge and everything that's going on. And still, I mean, I've got the scanner going on the side, so I can hear that as well. But where we at in court is we just had openings. We just had very, very lengthy openings that covered most of what we're going to hear in court. But now we get to actually hear the testimony and see if what we were told would come in actually is allowed to come in. So we'll see if that if that happens, if that comes to pass or not. Hey, little Larry, did you get some Oreos? You should get some. Everyone's coming in to say hi. All right. I will tell you, I did not get a Mountain Dew. I put all the loose change in my pocket that I'd found from metal detecting to buy a Mountain Dew, and I still have all the change in my pocket, but I do not have a Mountain Dew, so maybe I can send somebody. Okay. When I was a kid, my parents moved a lot, but I always found them. Yes, my kids are finding me this morning. Okay, so here's where we are. We're getting ready for trial today. The trial we anticipate will start delivering the evidence that the state presented in a 3-hour open. It was an incredible open. It took forever, by the opening statements, and we're going to start hearing this testimony that they're building their case around, as to why Mr. Kelly is guilty of shooting this individual, Mr. Gabriel. Mr. Kelly has maintained his innocence throughout this and saying he did not shoot Gabriel. He did fire his gun into the air, which, according to the medical examiner testimony, which we will hear, a shot fired into the air will not have been able to have caused the damage that this has. It would not exist like this. So if he actually fired the way he says he did, then it's impossible for this to happen. It has to be somebody else. I think there is definitely going to be some room in here for reasonable doubt if all this evidence comes in as they've said. So we're excited about that. I used to drink Mountain Dew till I learned it aggravates kidney stones and has 19 tablespoons of sugar per bottle. Witchy Mama, why do you have to be such a downer on my Mountain Dew? Just kidding. Yes, I'm pretty certain that's not all the bad things in it. There's probably much more bad in there, but the sugar, the caffeine, and potential kidney stones, all issues. Witchy Mama, I try really hard not to drink it, but I might get a little sleepy this afternoon. Started early. All right, let's see. I now put 5 teaspoons in my coffee. Instead of the 19. There you go. Now we know why Dr. Joe said nope. Yes, he was not a big fan of that. Oh, no. If there's anything I can do to avoid a kidney stone, I should do that. I had a coworker. I guess when you come down with a kidney stone, like when you start realizing you've got a problem, it's fairly sudden, and it's incredibly, incredibly painful. I had a coworker who just by chance drunk coffee like it was air. I mean, if he was not breathing, he was drinking coffee, and that may have contributed to his kidney stones. But he was in agony when he basically collapsed at work suddenly. It was terrible. Okay, Beautiful Waterfall says, I live 20 miles from Keno Springs where this happened. This trial is a very big deal around here. I have the local perspective on this one. Beautiful Waterfall, thank you very much. We're trying to keep it as focused on the evidence in the case as possible. I realize there's some strong feelings on both sides from people who are local to the area, from people who feel both ways on this. And so we're going to try to steer clear of some of the political stuff on this and focus on the testimony. Whoa. Are you guys doing this today? You guys dyeing eggs? Look at this. That's what my daughter made. It's pretty cool. Pretty nifty. No. She does not want me to eat it. It's boiled, right? Hope it's boiled. In vinegar? I think the vinegar just makes the shell be able to absorb the color, though. Tastes terrible. You tasted it already? You licked it? Yeah. Bite Me, good morning. Welcome. Let's see. I think that's it. I think that's what else do we need to go over? I feel like I'm missing something, but we're roughly about 10 minutes. This court's been a little casual on the starting times, so not really sure if it's going to be actually 10 minutes or not. Let's see, we're trying to find a couple different feeds on this one to see who's carrying it. That's not it. That's also not it. Somebody's honking a big rig outside. All right. How are all your brackets, by the way, for those of you that are into the sports ball stuff? Have you picked all winners so far? Gara, yes, we're finally on your schedule. This is, I believe Arizona is on Pacific time right now. So let's see. Kids are singing in the other room. That's always good. Trying to get this linked up. Just hold tight for just a second. I'm just not up to speed. Getting started too early was no good. Hey, super chat from Donna E says a tutor who tooted the flute tried to teach two young tutors to toot. She said the toot to the tutor, is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot? I butchered that one. A tutor who tooted the flute tried to teach two young tutors to toot. So the toot to the tutor, is it harder to toot or to tutor two tutors to toot? There you go. I got it right. First try. Tootology. Thanks for the super chat, and thanks for the tongue twister first thing in the morning as well. that's great. Question for me, Alita. What's the question? Pretty sure everyone's brackets are blown after what happened. I don't even know what happened yet. But busted thanks to Auburn. Apparently Auburn either lost or won. Bracket has tanked. Sports ball. Go team. Just puck sports. That's a much smaller field of sports. Just puck sports. Although technically, would you have? It's like curling in there. Is curling considered a puck, or the stones a puck or not? Ashley says, I put you and Brandy in the YouTube algorithm in the hotel I'm staying at. Wonderful. That's a good service you could do. Did he cover what's going on with P. Diddy? Brittany, we just mentioned this morning because actually I thought we were going to talk about that first thing in the morning with the two searches of P. Diddy's homes in California and in Florida. Allegedly, that has to do with the possible sex trafficking. But details are quite scarce, so we have to wait and see what goes on there. One interesting side note is I've got reports that his plane took off about the time that the searches happened from California and headed down to the Caribbean. Interesting. Just did he flee the country? I'm not sure. Okay. 2024 has been wild already. Do you have a blooper reel? Curling stone. A curling stone. It's like a puck. Just ice hockey for Smokey O'Leary. Well, Weather Watch would approve of that. He's a big ice hockey fan. He used to play semi-pro. He fled. He's guilty. Well, we've had. If you think of the testimony we got from the Crumblies, the flight can be, evidence of guilt. Heard he was in Miami. Yeah, there's issues there for sure. All right, still trying to get everything set up on the court side. I will say, oh my goodness, look at this, 888 right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're about to catch it live. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the interest. Ready. There it is. Boom. I just saw that. I just noticed. I'm not much of a numbers person, but when it happens, it happens. We like to catch special numbers on the J Hatch interest counter when they come up. So now we all got it together. Woohoo! I'm not sure where the next special number would be. Some of you are texting me occasionally saying the next number of significance is going to be, when it says XYZ. So it's interesting. Maybe straight fours. That might be a little bit. I just got a text message with a screenshot, the same thing. That is awesome. That was surprisingly underwhelming, says Abby. What? Just because there was no lead up. Just no lead up. That was a great catch. All right, trial starts in just a couple moments. It's 11:56 right now. We're told that it's supposed to start right around noon or noon 30. So, we'll see. How long does J Hatch have to pay? How much money can they pay in interest? They've got a while. J Hatch should be interesting next week. There are some things happening in that case. I know Attorney Greg Anderson has said there's some things developing. I have not followed the crime updates today. Please let me know if you hear something. Did you play pickleball for your birthday? I did not. I played plumber, which is a similar game but less fun. You're still running around. Yeah. Anyway. All right. I want to rest my eyes for just a minute, and before we get started. Let's see. 3:22 morning session, afternoon session. Hold tight here.
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way.
Just looking at some of the feeds that are available here. I played plumber. I'm a master of none when it comes to trades. Master of zero. It takes a lot of hammers to plumb the way I do. Let me check the calendar really quickly to see what's coming up as well. As we're waiting for court to begin. So we are on March 26th right now. 3:26. Robert Tellis. Robert Tellis is supposed to be going on here soon. Is that pushed? That was supposed to be happening in Nevada. He's accused of killing an investigative journalist. On the 28th, we've got a little case with Judge Cedric Simpson, which is the NASCAR jacket guy that owns 3 businesses. Domestic violence, just the minor strangulation. Or was this not a minor strangulation? I forget which one. Long rap sheet. That's going on the 28th. Of course, Chad Daybell is starting in Idaho on 4/1. A week or two later, we're going to have, Hannah Reid's sentencing is possibly on hold because of the motion she's filed. We've got the death penalty joint trial out of Duval, Florida on 4/13. Let's see. We've got a motion to seal hearing on April 16th for Scott Peterson. And then other motions a little bit later. Jose Lozano, $300,000 trailer theft sentencing. That's can be, I think that's Judge Boyd. Let's see. Yeah, that'll take us mostly through April. Robert Tellis' status hearing is today. And then I forget what date his trial's scheduled to start, or maybe it'll be figured out today. I think it got pushed indefinitely. Chris, celebrating. We don't often get a lot of trials on the west side. Really, there's not as many people on the west side as there are on the east side of the country, unless you're talking about California. And California is notoriously difficult to get video out of for trials. So it's just not represented as much as other sides. Although we get lots of police chases from California. Treehouse 2, that's on 4/4. Whoa, why did I have that down here? So let's see, we've got something happening on 4/4. Why is that in the wrong place? All right, now let's get some real work done here. Sarah Boone's coming up on May 13th, as is Delphi. Corey Richens on the 15th that's a preliminary trial date. Karen Reed is 1 month from today. I tell you, April and May are going to be nuts. Little Miss, you hear tornado sirens? Please be careful. Be careful. Take precautions if you have bad weather. All right. Let's see, where is our trial? Treehouse motion hearings on 4-4. Okay, we're getting there. Give us a second. We're gonna get this. It's just taking forever to start. All right, man, what a day. What a day. Peeps, thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships this morning. Alita Lay, Lindsay Hendricks, Melissa Laurie, Heather N., and Ditch Pickle Huntress. All gifted memberships. Thanks for your generosity, peeps. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Tell us a story while we wait. What kind of story do you want to hear? There was one time I was driving to work on I-15, and I was driving through the North Salt Lake area, an area called Woods Cross in North Salt Lake, and I'm driving along, I'm in a fast lane, and I was going fast, but to the right of me, a trailer is like a truck with like one of those fancy big white toy hauler trailers is just like zipping along, and he's passing super fast on the right. And right as he pulls up next to me and is passing me, the tire on one of his 2 trailers, because his trailer has dual axles, one of the tires just comes off the trailer and just starts like driving, and he like started slowing down, and so the tire passed him and it passed me, and so the tire's just zipping down the road with the rest of us about 60, 70 miles an hour. And the tire is just going, and it's a straightaway for quite a while. And so I'm like, well, that's quite interesting. And the truck sort of slowed down and started pulling over, and he like came to a stop back there a little ways, or slowed down way behind me. And I just stayed behind the tire, and I sort of kept my hazards on and just let the tire go in front of me. And the tire eventually moved over to the left-hand lane, and it was driving right still freeway speed. It's like it's not slowing down. And then as it got further and further over into like the left shoulder, the freeway where we were at, it's all paved, like the entire thing, both lanes, north and southbound. And in the middle, there's a huge concrete divider, like those cement dividers. And it goes further and further over. And then when it hits that divider, it like just took it like a jump, and it just shot up into the air. Okay, because the tread caught that, and it just shot up in the air, and it came. Just like went way, way, way high, and then it came down and bounced right in the oncoming traffic of the fast lane on the other side, and it bounced, and then it shoots up in the air again, and it's like 30 feet in the air, and it comes down and it lands, and it comes down and smashes the ground and rebounds right as a semi truck comes up, and the grill of the semi truck, it just explodes the tire. The whole, just an explosion. The grill is destroyed, and the tire exploded. By this time, I've slowed down a ton. Okay, and I've watched it up ahead because I'm headed this way, and it's this way, and it's happening up there on the left. And I slowed down, and as I slowed down, and it exploded the tire in pieces and went everywhere. I didn't know till I got to work, but the rim of the tire, the inside of the tire, had come off, and it flew up in the air, and it came back, and it landed on the bed of my truck. And I heard a bang, but I wasn't sure what it was. I thought like it was somebody else's crash or something. And it landed on the bed of my truck, and it dented the whole side of my truck when it came down through the bed liner, the insert bed liner. There's a story. So this is why you always tighten the lug nuts on your brand new trailers. So, yep. I ended up selling that truck. It was in a little Nissan pickup truck. I sold it to my brother-in-law for $1 because he needed one, and it was a good little truck. It landed on the bed of my truck on the sidewall, like the passenger side sidewall and back. Lucky it didn't land on my roof. Yes, I didn't know till later. I mean, I'd heard a bang, but I didn't realize that anything had happened. I didn't see it happen. I didn't see it moving back. But kitty kitty bang bang. Yes, I did go to the post office. I did get this book. A is for Amy that fell down the stairs. Holy morbid book. This is like incredibly morbid. The Gashly Crumb Tinies. B is for Basil, assaulted by bears. There's just a whole bunch of ways kids die, and pictures as well. Yeah. C is for Clara, who wasted away. Thank you for that one. I read through that this morning. All right. There's a story. That's the whole story. That's all I've got. We're still waiting for a trial to start. We're just keeping I didn't get to keep the rim. The rim actually bounced off the truck and left. It wasn't even in the bed of my truck, so I got nothing but the dent. Imagine somebody else got the rim. They probably didn't want it either. All right. Checking out trial right now. Let's see if we've got some video yet. Still nothing out of the courtroom. Let's see. Court did not have trial yesterday. They took Mondays off. Okay. Not here, not there. I'm just waiting for anybody to give us a indication of what's going to happen out of the courtroom this morning, because it is after 12.
Squirrel Squeaks.
Squirrel Squeaks. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, now is the time. Now is the time for my. It's actually a 2-minute squirrel story. You got to hear it.
Okay, let's hear it. Well, we wait for court.
So, yes. So I drive my car home, and it quits. And I try to start it up, and it won't. Okay? So I'm, handy enough that I can change the fuel filter, do some things, according to what I think is going on. So I'm doing that, and have my neighbor come over, and we're going to look under the hood, and all of a sudden I see a big pile of leaves that weren't there before, the day before. So I'm like, oh, what are all these leaves doing in here? And I start swooshing them out, and a squirrel pops out.
Of the
leaves? Like a full-grown squirrel.
In your car?
Of the leaves. Yeah, in the hood of my car. And so, we're like, my neighbor said, get out of here, tells the squirrel to go on. And that will come up in just 30 seconds here, why he shouldn't have done that. So I start moving the squirrel has chewed way too many wires in my car for my car to say, yeah, to be able to be like, okay, I think I could start now.
Right.
The wires, the critical wires are just kind of like out of the picture now. So I start moving the rest of the leaves out, and I'm like, oh, down here it feels real packed in, like she was nesting. And I was like, oh no, she was about to nest. She was about to have babies in here. And I pick up one more handful of leaves and I throw it to the side, and sure enough, there's a little squirrel infant in those leaves, and it lands on the ground, and I'm like, dang.
Suddenly you're the surrogate parent for a bunch of baby squirrels.
So she chewed all my dang wires, so I have it, it's disabled. And then she left me her baby to raise. And well, we did for a few days, but
yeah. Squirrels are hard.
It didn't last.
Yeah, squirrels are hard.
They are, and hey, I have a background in wildlife, so I could do it, but not with 5 kids. I can't do it. Not with 5 kids, because they want to hold it and they don't want to keep it warm, and they want to make little outfits for it. And I'm like, this thing's not going to live unless we, Anyway, that's my little squirrel story. And who knows how much it's going to cost, but it's at the dealer or at the shop right now.
That's terrible. That is really terrible. Yeah. I'm sorry it's going that way for you.
It's all right. But it's fine. The squirrel just needed help raising her young. So I'm lucky it wasn't more than one. But
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, thank you for the squirrel story while we wait for court to start.
No problem.
Squirrels are always
Thanks,
appropriate
guys.
to talk about. So thank you.
We'll talk to you later.
See you, Blackbird Squeaks.
Bye.
Bye. That was Blackbird Squeaks, by the way, not Squirrel Squeaks. But she was sharing her squirrel story. It's a little different. Okay, still nothing out of Arizona yet. We're just waiting for court feeds. So we'll see what's up. All right, man. I'm tired. Have we chosen something to count in this trial? Have we talked about what we want to count? I think we need to count something. Okay. That's not it. Let's see. The disorderly conduct trial, where we watch jury selection, that starts Wednesday. They're taking Tuesday off. Oh, man, that is a good song. That is such a good song. The Day the Squirrel Went Berserk and the First Self-Righteous Church. It's a great song if you've never heard that. We started counting jury questions. You're right, we did. What did we get to on the jury questions? We're at 2. Okay, I've got 2 on the counter. That's also happens to be how many times I may have rested my eyes during this. An asphalt hot pot on wheels flipped in front of me on I-285, hit the concrete divider. Hot asphalt went into the air and came down onto oncoming traffic. Asphalt on a car is incredibly difficult to get off. Not to mention the fact that it's not safe and dangerous. Layla Me, yeah, we went live this morning covering that for a couple hours. Just a terrible situation. Terrible, terrible.
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way.
I think they just are starting late. That's all.
How does he do that?
Sorry, I'm still digging through links just to make sure nobody has something going on that I'm not seeing. But it's just not live yet. What if anything has to delay with the water main issue? We did have a water line break. I think they fixed it on Friday. And they had Monday as well to fix it. So if it's still down, that would be really problematic. Lara 77, 12 months. Whoop whoop. We are blessed to have such a great community. Great channel and community. Thank you very much, Laura. And then Peeps gifted the 5 memberships. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Silky Mom, waiting on Plumber to call me. I feel for your construction problems. Donna E. came in this morning saying, glad to find a place that's kind of normal with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Quite a bit. American Girl, member for 1 month. Good morning, American Girl. Welcome. Welcome. I love that blue courthouse. Thank you very much for your support. All right. Button has been licked. I hope everyone pushed the button before C. Chinny licked the button. Daily Mail claimed dozens of cars plummeted off the bridge, so now everyone is freaking out. Ween Baby, initially, during that bridge collapse, there was a lot of confusion. The police initially called it a cruise ship that had hit the bridge. Initially, they didn't even know the bridge had collapsed. They just thought the bridge had been struck. And it took quite a while for them to even realize the bridge was down. And so, yeah, there were some initial reports about cars on the bridge. It turns out that it appears that with just construction workers, there were vehicles on the bridge, but they may have belonged or been associated with that construction work. To the best of knowledge we have now, there were no other people on the bridge other than that. We do have a late start today, so we're just trying to give the court their sweet time to get things underway. My brother's plumber fell through his kitchen ceiling this weekend. Oh, man. I'm going to fall through my bathroom if I'm not careful. Six people remain missing regarding the bridge. That's the last we heard in the press release as well. We are waiting to see when we're going to get started today, when they're going to actually begin court. And so far they have not. Nothing there. Let's check a couple other sources just to see if we have any updates. Nothing there. Nothing there. See if anything out of Phoenix. Not seeing Phoenix either. Yeah, there's really nothing going on. So waiting for court to open up. Have a problem with the drainage system, but thankfully not our problem to fix since the problem is on the public land. So municipality, the county has to fix it, and they're slow. Yes, according to the second press conference regarding the bridge, they were able to send a mayday call and stop traffic crossing the bridge. I think that was the toll workers who stopped traffic. But that was very, very fortunate. Okay. If we start at 12:30. We should have feeds here soon. Yes, Red Pen, the Maya interest counter just passed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We actually caught that just briefly when it was there. P. Diddy, people are saying he wasn't on the plane that went to the Caribbean or Caribbean. It's a distraction. Yeah, everyone's waiting on the pool feed right now. So, let's see. Hey Siri, what time is it in Arizona?
In Phoenix, Arizona, it's 9:23.
Okay, the judge said they wanted the jury in place at 8:30. 8:30. So now we're just in a holding pattern until everything works out. We thought we were going to be late, and it turns out we're way early. Trying to see if they're rotating who the pool camera is. Occasionally they'll do that, a week at a time or sometimes even a day at a time. Well, guys, what do you want to talk about while we wait for court to start? Thought of a pocket door for the small bathroom? Live for pocket doors. No, I haven't. Because it would, like pocket doors, they slide like into the wall, right? I'm not a big fan of them. I had them growing up, and we broke one, and then it became a real pain in the butt. Noni says, I'm on Arizona time. Yeah, it's 9:23 down there. Maybe the judge is like, I just can't take it. With as long as opening statements are, I just can't take another day of that. Here we go. We have our feed. Let's see, where are we coming in on? We're coming in on 3.
The image is all the photos the drone took put together. The black area is it's just drone didn't take photos of that area. So all you see together is all the photos the drone took, just put into one big piece.
Okay.
So we just had a late
clear that screen if you don't mind.
A late feed connection. So.
And then mark the line that shows the distance between the house and location.
So they had started, they just hadn't started the feed. Nice. They haven't even done a white balance.
That's a much better circle.
Sorry.
All right. So that is the line. The green line is from the house to the where the victim's body was found.
Yes.
We can go back tomorrow and get this interest part we missed.
Exhibit 37, which is 3 photographs.
They haven't even white balanced the camera. See how everything looks really yellow? Like the papers even look yellow.
No objections, Your Honor.
Move to admit Exhibit 37 to evidence, Your Honor.
37 Exhibit.
I'm going to go show you, we're going to mark these as 37A. A is an alpha, is the first photo. We've got appears to be an aerial photo, right?
Yes.
What am I looking at? Do you recall?
I think this was behind the residence.
The what?
The residence, the home.
What am I looking at though specifically? Do you recall? Would that be the pergola?
It looks like a picnic area.
Objection leading.
And do you see at top there, you see a fountain?
Yes.
And you see some cones to the left of that fountain?
Correct.
All right, and that middle structure, what we call a pergola, you see that picnic area?
Yes.
All right.
That's very leading.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State Exhibit 37B as in boy. You see that photo?
Yes.
An aerial photo also, right?
Correct.
And we see that same fountain?
Yes.
Same cones?
Yes.
And the same pergola, right?
Correct.
Just a different aerial photo, right?
Yes.
And finally, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State Exhibit 37C as in Charlie. You see that photo?
Yes.
Also an aerial photo?
Correct.
And what do we see in the, do you see that circle of cones?
Yes.
What is that, do you recall?
That's where I was told the victim was found.
Right where the cones are at, right?
Correct. In between the cones.
If we go to Exhibit 36B, we see the end over there. Can you circle the end of that green line? These are the same things, right?
Yes.
Here, I moved to publish the drone footage, but I think it's ready to tee it up. I think it's the drone footage image is from 36A, who's been admitted.
No objection if that's what that evidence is.
Very well.
We'll have access to the Zoom feed of the beginning of trial in a day or so when it's posted by the court. They do post the videos after the fact. I might take all those videos and post them over on the Top Mark Media side just so we can have the full thing without the missed portion.
It would be helpful if you plugged it in.
It'd be helpful if you plugged it in.
Turn it off, I don't want to put anything in the on the screen.
Thank you. Giving me a presenter review, Judge. I'm trying to figure out what happened since Friday.
And as she's pulling that up, officer, do you remember the address, the location of where the drone footage was conducted?
It was 100 East Willow Cross Circle in Kino Springs.
Here in Santa Cruz County, right?
Correct. Here in Santa Cruz County.
And you remember the date you conducted the drone footage?
The date I went is February 1st at approximately 10 a.m.-ish.
I'm assuming February 1st, 2023?
I'm sorry, yes.
All right, so last year, February 1st.
Correct.
Court's indulgence as the system is booting.
There's our jury question counter. That's what we're counting so far. The drone footage showing the distance between the two. Notice all the branches. Notice all the brush. 115 yards. There's the cones where the body was found. Now turning around, it's nice and blurry and dizzy. Thank you, everybody. Looking back at the house, that's the shot that would have to be made. Of course, it looks a little more clear now from this angle than it does if you were at eye level looking back at the house. I'm willing to guess that you would not be able to fly the drone in a straight line between those two. You'd have to steer around branches.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State's done with this witness. Defense takes over on questioning.
Can I get this marked? I believe it'll be ZZ.
It would be difficult to hit something accurately beyond, I'd say, 100,
Just looking at this yourself,
150 yards with an AK. Depends on the model.
These different photos that's now been marked
200, 300 yards.
Fence ZZ, and tell me if you could identify all these photos that are in that exhibit.
Just for the record, counsel has not seen the exhibits.
I'm trying to prove them up, and I was going to tender it to you. I just don't know how to right now. Nothing.
You'll see that. They'll see them before they're.
Yes.
Sure. We'll record if they're admitted. If they're
Counsel has not seen the exhibit yet, but we're going to show the witness. It's okay. We want to show the witness first. Then we're going to see if you approve. Might get some testimony in this way too. This is a strange procedure.
Can you identify all these exhibits, all these photos within the exhibit?
The last two are not my photos.
Okay, can you identify it? Do you know what it is?
Looks like a map or a picture, Google Maps maybe, I don't know, of the area.
Okay.
I don't know.
Of the area of this scene that you used your drone?
Yes, I can see the house.
Okay. So does this accurately depict the same view that your drone would be able to take if it was that high up?
Yes.
Okay, and both of the photos, because you mentioned the last two.
The last photo, I don't know what that is.
Okay, let me pull that one off. So did you take any aerial photos with your drone of the barn?
No.
Okay. I'm taking the last photo off this exhibit, but otherwise everything here accurately depicts the scene?
Yes.
And then we'll tender it to the state since our equipment isn't working yet.
guess Elmo's down. So the state hasn't seen this yet. This is defense. Their own witness not able to recognize one of the photos that he's, or I guess it's not their witness, but the state's witness not able to recognize one of the photos they want to present. That's why it was removed from the bunch. Stephen, thank you for the super chat and for the gifted membership. Appreciate that.
ZZ.
It could have gone a significant distance, depending on how much resistance the bullet met as it traveled through the victim. Could go quite a ways.
No objection.
ZZ is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Permission published. Now, some of these photos we're going to publish to the jurors in the court. Some of these we've seen, but a lot of these we haven't. Okay, so let's go back over this.
Why do they block out everything else?
So first of all, I'm pointing to a building. Is that reflecting the house?
Yes.
And there is a little box area right here that I'm pointing with my my pointer, which is my pen. Is that the pergola or the patio covering?
Yes.
Okay. And then there is a line here that somehow got on this map through your program that you used. And is that taking you in the direction of where the deceased was found?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is there a reason why you only do it over, like flying over the area versus, are you capable of doing something lower and showing the terrain?
Yes, I'm capable.
Okay, did you do any such flyover?
Lower, no.
Okay. There's a lot of things in this terrain that's between these two locations, the patio and the deceased. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how far out that is between the patio or the house to where the deceased was located?
It's about 350. That's the measurement shown in the picture.
350 what?
Feet.
Okay. Do you know how many yards that would be?
No.
Well, 300 feet would be 100
All right,
yards.
350 feet out.
50
I had to
feet.
do, have my staff
60
help
feet
me
would be
here
20 yards.
to make sure it's been measured mostly in yards. So I think it's pretty accurate. And there's a lot of things in between. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, let me show you what has already been entered into evidence, which
Thank you, Karina.
is KK's, Defense KK. And I'm going to put this photo up for you to see upside down. Let me remember to do it the other way. Does this look familiar to you?
Looks like the bottom view of the pictures from the drone.
Okay. Is this, to your knowledge, heading in the direction where the deceased was supposedly found?
I couldn't tell because I wasn't there or looking from that picture.
So you never placed yourself on this patio and in the direction of where people told you there was a body found?
Correct, I did not.
Okay. And you would agree that this appears to be a patio, brick patio starting there, maybe the corner of it right there. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And you do see the pergola though, right?
Correct.
and there's no house in front of us, so would it be fair to say that the house is probably behind this photo?
Yes.
Whoever took the photo? Okay.
This witness is a drone operator and a law enforcement officer.
A lot of things in here, and I want to keep reflecting back on this as we progress in your photos that I have put into my exhibit. And I'm going to move to the next photo.
Just going to dig into a couple little snacks here. Defendant's there in the vest, just off camera.
Okay, the next photo in Z's Defense ZZ. You familiar with this location?
Yes.
Okay, are we, how many feet up do you think you might be in this photo?
Approximately 65 feet.
Okay. Is this looking down above the pergola?
Yes, it's looking down.
And now we can see the full patio, can't we?
Yes.
And then the house is reflected to the right of our screen, correct?
Correct.
And the patio seems to be some sort of brick or tile type brick laid down to create a patio. Is that true?
Yes.
Now, you have a line and it's a yellow arrow that's pointed to something. What is that supposed to be?
Cones.
Okay, and what's the cones reflecting?
From what I was told, that's where the suspect in this case shot.
Okay, so what measurements were you given to place that?
No measurements. I was just told from the cones to the area where there was a circle in the brush.
So this is an estimate?
Yes.
And who told you that would be the location?
The detective on scene when I arrived.
So he just said, here, put it right here, and where the eye put the cones? Or did you put the cones there?
The cones were already set up there.
So you have no idea how those cones got there, right?
Correct.
And let's work backwards. Let's move forward and we'll come back to this. Okay, can you see this photo that's in the same exhibit?
Yes.
And what are we looking at?
Top view of, looks like the other patio.
So have we progressed a little further out from the house?
Yes.
Is there still a line being reflected, what appears to be yellow?
Yes.
And what is that line reflecting?
That is the line that measured from the cones to where I was advised the suspect, the victim, was located.
And again, you not only don't know how the cones were placed there where the supposedly the person, my client, was standing, but you don't know for sure how they got an exact location of the body. Is that correct?
Correct.
You saw no measurements?
No, I did not.
No points that could say 3 feet from this tree or any other data points that would help with the exact location?
All that I had was the cones and the area that was circled in the brush.
So, as far as you know, this is an estimate?
Correct.
Okay. And you have no knowledge how they had information about that, correct?
Correct.
Now, you would suspect that they may have seen a deceased person out there. Would that be fair to guess?
Yes.
but you have no information why they place the person that supposedly followed these lines, the shooter, which they're trying to say is my client. You have no idea how they got that on there, do you?
Correct.
So you're just doing what you're being told to do, correct?
Yes.
We're going to move to the next photo in the same exhibit. What are we looking at here?
Still another view of the area. Moving
Welcome,
closer
Broken Bakers.
to the end of the,
Thanks for joining us this morning.
Did you have to walk around when you flew your drone?
I stand by the area where the victim was located, and I just looked out for anything higher that my drone could hit.
Okay. So you guided it from the location of the alleged location of the deceased, correct?
Yes.
And what is all this wavy things in the photos?
It looks like brush.
So this is, at this time, and this is January 30th, a year ago, correct?
That was February.
You did it in February.
Yes, February 1st.
And the incident date, did you know, was January 30th?
No, I did not.
Okay. But you were there in what day on February?
The 1st.
Okay.
So the day
Shortly
later.
after. And even though it's wintertime, this is what we can see from above what the terrain would look like, right?
Yes.
Is there a reason why you couldn't put your drone down lower to reflect what was in the way between the 2 points, data points that are being reflected by your line?
There was a lot of vegetation that could impact what my drone could hit.
So that would be potentially dangerous for the life of your drone, correct?
Correct.
Okay. In other words, the drone could have been damaged if it ran into some of these vegetation, mesquite trees or whatever was out there, cactus, whatever might be out there.
Yes.
And it was heavily vegetated, correct?
As you can see in the picture.
Right. Had we seen it where it was lower, we would know that it's heavily vegetated. So we'll come back to that too. The next photo in this group that we've already omitted, they're upside down again. Can you identify this photo?
I've owned 5, but I'm down to 1 right now.
Yes.
What is this?
It's from the same area picture of the drone, just getting closer to the end.
And that would be closer to where the deceased was approximated to be located, correct?
Correct.
And these things that are a little bit darker, would that be more like trees? Or do you have any idea why it looks different than the lighter gray stuff on the ground?
That'd probably be shadows.
Okay, thank you. I'll show you the next photo in my exhibit. Can you identify this?
Yes, it's a photograph getting closer to where the victim was located.
Okay. We can barely see it, but there is still your yellow line is in there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's still hitting between the 2 points that you were told to put a line between, correct?
Correct.
And the next photo in this exhibit, what are we looking at here?
That's the location where the victim was located in this case.
or estimated to be located, right? Because you never saw no measurements, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, that's reflected with some cones on the ground?
Yes.
And I'm going to point to a couple that I see are cones. Am I pointing to a cone?
Yes.
And it seems to be a pretty good sized circle or area, correct?
Correct.
So once again, seems to be reflecting an approximate location because it's not a spot, correct?
Yes.
And I notice then if we follow the yellow line backwards to the left from the cones, it would be a continuation that would eventually get us back towards the house, correct?
Yes.
And approximately to the cones that the detective or someone from his staff has set up, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you see there's quite a bit of trees there blocking in between where the deceased circle is heading down or up to the left in the line that is being reflected towards the house, correct?
Yes, there was vegetation.
Council, this will be a good time for us to take our mid-morning recess. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll stand in recess for 30 minutes.
Okay, so we're a little bit delayed. The pool camera operator missed court this morning and was not allowed to set up immediately. So they finally came in and were able to turn it on. That's why we missed the swearing in of this witness. We don't know who he is. We know he's an officer. We know he flew a drone over the area. But that's what it. So this is day one of testimony. Jury's leaving right now for a mid-morning break. Let's see what happens here. I think they're going to get the camera fixed up a little bit better during the break as well. Maybe a white balance would be nice.
How are you doing? Good. Good to see you.
I'm having my mid-morning breakfast. The snack arrived in the mail. Thank you, by the way. This particular gift did not have a name on it, but it says it's dill pickle flavored cashews, which are, oh my goodness, they're heavenly. They're delicious. Camera guy forgot daylight saving time. Isn't an Arizona thing. Isn't done in Arizona. We'll wait. We should get a video here shortly during the break, after the break's over. Second breakfast, yes. The defense has questioned this witness, the drone operator, and they've gone into a lot of detail about what the terrain is on the ground. This is important for the defense's case because the terrain on the ground is, it has brush, it has like little scrub brush, I guess you could say. They're not really tall trees, but they have all sorts of vegetation between the point where the state thinks he fired from all the way up to where the victim was found dead. And so they're trying to connect those dots between the two and say this is where the bullet traveled. But the drone operator could not fly that straight path where the bullet traveled because there's so much vegetation. Well, guess what vegetation does to a bullet? It knocks it off course. It would be very difficult to have the bullet fly all the way through that path directly straight and not hit anything in all the brush and all the weeds. It makes it highly unlikely for that sort of shot to be made. I think it was like 115 yards, which is roughly 350 feet. Waiting for the feed to be back. Just give us a minute. LJ says, I want to know if they found bullets and casings that weren't proved to be owned by him. They found casings, spent cartridges, on the patio where he fired, where he says he fired, and there were 9 of them, which is what he fired into the air. So the location where they say he fires from, that is a combination of what he told them he did, as well as what they have found based on the shell casings on the ground and the ejection pattern of those shell casings. They're able to approximate the location of where the shooter was standing. And that's a combination of the height of the shooter, the type of gun you're firing, and the terrain and how the gun ejects the bullets. It's not exact science, but they can position somebody based on where the spent casings are, and they can approximate where they were standing from. So that's why we have all the questions we have right now from defense, trying to show that this is not a clean line of sight between the two. And for a bullet to travel that distance without hitting anything that would knock it off its course, which even little weeds can knock bullets off course. It's surprising. Wow. Judge in Delphi denied all media requests. No live coverage of that one. Defense is crowdsourcing funds for an expert. Hey, son. I had 2. This is my 3rd one. I have not tried dill paprika yet. You eat a jar of dill paprika daily? Isn't paprika a seasoning, like a little garnish? I add a little bit of paprika to my hamburger stroganoff. Yeah, so Delphi is now off the list for live streams. We were not going to follow that anyway, but that's a difficult one. Paprika equals pepper. Dill pepper.
Kiki's limping. And he didn't get in any fight. He just slept.
What is on my list to follow? A couple. Franklin Tucker, possibly Chad Daybell. We're thinking about that one. Robert Tellis. Let's see. Scott Peterson, if that goes to a retrial, I'd like to see that one. See, we've got video again. Still no white balance, but hey, we won't throw a fit. Sarah Boone, Corey Richens. Possible Owen v. Eckerd. That's going to be details on that one are really sketchy, so we might put that just on Top Mark Media. Richard Walter Bradley Jr. Got a few coming up. Lori Daybell in Arizona. That's later this summer. Alec Baldwin as well. Brian Koberger next year, about a year from now. Scott Peterson will be interesting. The first thing we have with him, let's see, the schedule for him is April 16th, and there's a motion to seal the hearing. So the first thing they're trying to do is shut down the media access. You've got Karen Reed coming up in 3 weeks. I believe it's Brandy's plan to cover that one. If she does, we will not. But she's done a great job with that one. Bob Motta's going to be in the courtroom for doing updates for Delphi. I tell you, if there's no media access, courtroom access is going to be a premium. That's the only information anyone's going to get out of there. Treehouse is coming up soon. I think they have a April 4th hearing. Let's see. Corey, I see you there. How are you doing? Welcome. Everyone's covering Karen Reed. It's a huge case. It's crazy. Break's still ongoing here in court. I don't know why we can't white balance. Looks so bad. The walls should be white. If anything, the white stripes on the flag should be white. There's your go-to, right? The paper, I wouldn't use this to white balance, but the papers the attorneys are holding generally should be white, not yellow. And now we have very yellow whites. What's up with Sarah Boone? Is she scheduled again? Sarah Boone is... I'll tell you what's up with Sarah Boone. We have a document out of Sarah Boone's saying that on May 7th, which is just a week before trial is scheduled, that they're going to do 2 depositions of Detective Cospel and Detective Lowen, who were, I believe, the 2 detectives that interrogated or questioned Sarah Boone. The week before, is that going to be enough time to go through everything and do the follow-ups that they need? It seems like they're going to ask for another extension. Nicholas Rossi. Rossi is the... I've got him on here. Rossi is the fake accent guy. He's actually petitioned the court to require the jail to address him by the name that he's assumed instead of his real name. Court is using the algae filter. Yellow is more calming to my eyes. I do like driving with yellow driving glasses, the yellow tinted glasses. That, for me, it clarifies everything for me. I can see better. Sarah Boone's going to be found guilty and immediately released for time served, 60 years old. She's been in for 4 years. Karen, this camera that's capturing the court feed right now is capable of adjusting its settings so that the camera, so basically you can tell the camera what you're seeing right now is white. Oh, we might have a prank call. Hang on. Hello.
Yes, hello. Am I talking to Dwayne Bourne?
Yes.
All right. Hi, sir. This is Karen. And I work from the Ultimate Journey. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
All right. I'm glad to hear that. So, sir, the reason for the call is in regards to a large amount of travel credits on file with us. So my job here is to close out the expired accounts. And when I saw how much credit you had available, I didn't feel comfortable closing this out without at least giving you the opportunity to use this fund. So you see yourself traveling at some point in the future, right?
Is this something my ex-wife bought?
Yeah, it is indicated that your name, sir, Dwayne Bourne. It is.
I have been tracking down charges that she has purchased all sorts of stuff. How much did she spend?
What is that? Sorry.
How much did she spend on my card? How much did she buy? I don't have an ex-wife. But anyway, yeah, I don't have time for court's going to be, the break's going to be over here momentarily. We don't have time for a full prank call. I'm Jason, Dwayne Bond. Dwayne Bond is, I think, the name they think I am. We'll if they call back again, we'll give them a little more to work with. Audio's too good. I need like a cell phone or like a cordless phone filter that I can turn on when people call. Got to go with the free package. All right, break time is nearly over. Everyone's taking their seats here. The judge should be back. The jury, I think the jury actually comes in before the judge in this courtroom. Need a voice changer. The particular scam they're running there, if you ever get called with this scam, the line is the same. That you have unused travel credits. It's $1,500 worth of credits. If you pay this little booking fee, they'll never expire, and you can use them whenever. It turns out that the vacations they have available to you are very cheap, and you end up paying more than you should for these vacations. So the credits go towards these big vacations, which are very expensive, but they're actually really a cheap vacation. They're overpriced, and it's just a bad deal. You don't actually have any travel credits. Let's see. Everyone's taking their places again. You just texted the burner. Let me check. I got the text. I'll have to look into it. There's another trial I'm looking at right now that's a juvenile that committed murder. That's local to me. I actually got a tip from somebody who's familiar with the situation through law enforcement, and we're waiting to see if the trial gets moved to adult court, and I might follow that one. Let's see. We've only had one witness, I believe, so far today. I think it's that single drone operator officer. We'll find out, I guess, for sure tomorrow when we get access to the court's Zoom feed for today. They upload the Zoom feed at the end of the day, so it'll be up tomorrow. If they jack up the price and then discount it and say it's a travel credit, that's pretty much it. Plus, you have to pay a booking fee for your free credits that you've already purchased. Mr. T, I wish they'd put me on the do not call list. They call constantly. Melody, are you hearing my kids as they make a whole bunch of noise? This court takes long breaks. Okay, here we go. Everyone's moving with purpose now. Back to your places, people. Doesn't work. So does the same with the do not email. The canned spam doesn't work either. I think the IT guy is trying to explain how things work. He's dressed in a wallpaper colored shirt. Apparently the monitors are all touchscreen and able to draw on them. That or people are just messing with their pens. IT out. We need judge in, and we're ready to go. Blackbird Squeaks is making frajolies for everybody. Vela, sorry if my nerdiness is ruining it for you. Everyone's checking the time. Where's the judge at? How long has this break been? Debbie, this trial is just now starting. We're literally on day one of testimony. The only thing you've missed, other than a couple, well, I guess a few minutes of trial early this morning, when the court photographer, the pool videographer, did not make it to court on time and was late. So the only thing you missed was that and the opening statements on Friday. So there's not a lot yet we can tell you as far as evidence. The only thing we've heard is from a drone operator describing the terrain and the area around the house, the defendant's house, and the area where the body was found. From the shot from the porch, were other trees hit from bullets? Soul Glow, no. There is one broken branch in that area, but it doesn't appear to have been shot by a bullet, apparently. Judge is testing the water pressure. Yeah, Friday they had a water line break, and the whole courthouse was out of water, including the bathrooms. So, yeah, that's exciting. IT's fixing the other computer now. What are they showing each other pictures of? He does know he's sitting right in front of a pool photographer who's filming his phone, right? Many, many court staff here. The bullet was able to zigzag its way through the trees. Yes. The worst part about this Whiskey Row is that they were not able to recover the bullet. The individual who was shot, the bullet, he was shot clean through, meaning the bullet did not stop in the body. And they searched for it with metal detectors, but haven't been able to find it. So they can't even pinpoint the bullet to the gun. We don't know if it's the same caliber. We don't know, even if it is the same caliber, if it was fired from the same gun. There are a lot of questions. It might be interesting to see the prosecution, to see how they're able to prove this case. Nice, that looks better. Squigglies are working now. Karen, I think he was from like Guatemala, or I don't believe he was actually from Mexico. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick back and play some music while we wait. Because that'll get the judge out. Okay, that was a long break. Now the judge has not come back. The IT guys have fixed all the computers during this break. I think they've reinstalled all new plumbing. This mid-morning break is stretching into a mid-afternoon break if we don't hurry. $30 minutes? 30 minutes for a mid-morning break? We have time for the chase music.
Right in court.
Proceed. We show the presence of all the jurors, counsel, and the defendant, and Ms. Lopez, you can continue with the prosecution.
Thank you, Judge.
Almost perfect timing.
This is take one. All right, I'm back to showing you, sir, Defense Exhibit ZZ, and another photo in that grouping. This white building is obviously reflecting the house. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. And this whole scene is a photo higher up than maybe your drone is capable of going, but it does reflect the terrain in the area, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, houses are usually fixated and can't be moved, but there is a little pin dropped approximately in the direction of where the deceased was located. So there's a good distance, and you omitted the amount of feet that this distance is between that building and the location of the deceased, correct?
Yes.
Now, you said earlier that you were standing out here where the cones were set up to reflect the deceased body, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you didn't pay a lot of attention in the direction towards the house other than the utilization of your drone?
Correct.
Okay. And I've never seen really a drone close up. We all see them on TV and whatever. Do you have some kind of camera in your hand that you could see the view of what your drone is seeing?
Yes.
Okay. And so, because when you're out here at this location where the deceased was, it's practically almost next to impossible to see the actual location of the house from the ground. Would you agree? With all the terrain in the way and all the trees and shrubs and...
It's visible.
You could see it?
The house, yes.
Okay. But you definitely, when you go above it, you could see it.
Yes.
Would you admit it's very difficult to see the building itself, though?
Not difficult, no.
No? Okay. And let me show you back to defendant's KK. Now, this is the patio view, and this is looking in the direction where you drew a line from the patio outward. Does that look familiar?
Yes, I've seen that picture.
Okay. And you can see you have a pergola, you have some kind of table or something sitting underneath the pergola, correct?
Yes.
You see there, and this is the very far corner. This is not where the cones are set up. The cones are more to the left and back. Would you agree from this photo?
Possibly, yes.
Okay, and I could show you back that photo in a minute. And you see all the things that are in this direction. Immediately, we have a tree to the right, correct?
Yes.
We have a smoker, which I'm going to point to there, correct?
Yes.
Now, if you're standing to the left a little bit of this, and I'll go back to one of your photos to reflect what your hypothetical was. And I'm going to go back to the exhibit ZZ and show you the side, well, where the arrow finally ended up at. And I'm going to publish this for you. You see all the obstacles based on your line that are in the way of this hypothetical location where I believe you're putting cones as possible shooting position. There's a lot of things there, including the pergola, the table. We go further out, the smoker. A lot of things are in the way. Would you agree?
From this top view, all I see is the top. I don't know the height of the items on the bottom.
But you could see it. You can see that it cuts through the pergola because the pergola actually extends out with, like right here, I'm going to point up to the screen. These are beams that are extending past the post there. And so that is also, and you can see it right here, those planks of wood come out past the post that's crossing it, and it could very well be something that would be in the way of the location of your drawing. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's the actual posts that hold up this pergola, right? We know it to be at least 4 posts on the corners of this rectangle, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so reflecting, I'm pointing to a couple locations to show that something has to hold this pergola up, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then, so you never stood here to know that you would be shooting through your property. It would be a little bit of an obstacle to shoot from this location where the arrow ended up to get it in that direction where the deceased body was located. So you didn't know that, did you?
Correct.
Here's another photo. Standing closer to the home, looking out in that direction. So again, if you're a little bit to the left on the patio, and then you're trying to shoot through all this to someone that may be out there, you better be I don't know. I mean, why would anyone want to shoot through their property and do damage? Do you have any idea?
No.
No.
No objection there.
And again, it was
speculation.
Detective Ines that told you to put those arrows there. Is that correct?
No.
Here's a close-up, I guess, of one of the obstacles in the same exhibit. Did you ever notice this obstacle?
Only from the air.
Okay, but you do see the post holding the pergola up, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you do see trees all around it, correct?
Correct.
Who told you to draw the line between the two sets of cones?
Detective Bunting.
And you had no idea why he wanted to do that, did you?
He just wanted a measurement from the cones to where the victim was located.
How far is the measurement?
About 350 feet.
Feet or yards?
Feet.
Feet? Thank you. Okay. And again, another view, maybe past the pergola, looking out to the terrain. Does that look like the kind of terrain you were standing in?
I wasn't standing there at the house.
No, but outwards, going out there, you were.
Yes.
And this type of terrain was all around you, correct?
Correct.
Another photo in the same set of evidence. This is zoomed in. Again, how thick the thicket was during that time, correct?
I don't know the date of this picture, so I don't know.
This is a crime scene photo, and so it would be very close to January 30th of last year when this happened. And we can see there's lack of leaves and stuff on the trees, and yet it's still very thick out there, isn't it?
Yes.
Just a moment, Ron.
She just put a picture up, zoomed in, zoomed back out, and I went and sat down without saying anything about the picture. No questions.
You know those, we had testimony earlier. It was a Leica testimony, laser scan, a map of raw data was created. Is there anything about that that you utilized?
No.
Have you ever sent your drone photos to someone that does do photogrammetry and actually make actual measurements and precision through their photos? Have you ever done something like that before?
No.
Are you aware that there is such thing out there?
There wasn't, no.
Pass the witness.
Direct examination.
You like to take it? I'm sorry. Vote. Which one? You'll vote?
Let me just start off with the last question asked of you about, do you know if your data was sent to anyone outside of DPS for review, like another expert? Are you aware of any of that?
No, not that I know of.
Once you give it to the SO, you don't have control of what we do with it, right?
Correct.
This is in no particular order, but I just want to make sure I have proper reference here.
Are those regular glasses, or are they more like a safety style glass? Like, they remind me of somebody who's about to play racquetball.
I'm going to show you what I believe it to be Defense Exhibit ZZ as in zebra. Just so we know, just for the record too, I'm going to show you ZZ. We're going to label this one A as in alpha. You recognize that photo?
Yes.
And once again, that's a photo like the one you testified, I think, exhibit earlier, where it's the drone footage, all the capturing of data overlaid on the, that's why there's whiteness around it, right?
Correct.
We'll call that the club photo. I'm going to show you ZZ, B as in boy.
The club photo?
Second photo. And that's a photo where you show the arrow associated to cones. You see that?
Yes.
And once again, just so we know, you didn't set the cones up, right?
Correct, I did not.
Cones were set there prior.
Yes.
And you were instructed to take your measurement from the cones.
Yes.
I'm going to show you Defense ZZ, C as in Charlie, the third photo. That's just another photo from above, getting further and further out, right?
Correct.
And these are your photos, right?
Yes.
I'm going to show you ZZ. We're going to do D as in David. That's the fourth photo. And you see on this, no, it's upside down. Let me just make sure it's correct. You see that photo? You see that photo, right?
Yes, I do.
On that photo, we've got some, let me ask you, what are the dark items? Let me put my pin to it. What are these dark items here?
Those are big brush or shadows from the brush.
It's like trees and tall stuff, right?
Yes.
And this gray stuff all around, what would that be?
It's the dried out vegetation, smaller vegetation.
That'd be the dry grass?
Yes.
And how tall is that dry grass, so we have perspective?
I don't know, let's say no more than a foot.
Maybe 2 feet? But nothing up here, right?
Correct.
That, for demonstration, I'm pointing to my chest. Nothing that high, right?
Correct.
All right.
Now we need to know how tall the prosecutor is.
I'll show you ZZ, the fifth picture. We're going to label it E as in echo. And you see there's actual number on there. Is that 300, roughly 350 foot measurement?
Correct.
We're all familiar with mostly football. I mean, so 350 divided by 3 is yards, right? Is a yard.
Yes.
I mean, 3 feet is a yard, right?
Correct.
So 350 divided by 3 would give us the yards, right?
Yes.
ZZF as in Frank. That's another photo. We're still going out to where the victim's body was found, right?
Correct.
And ZZG is in giraffe. We see the circle cones, right?
Yes.
With the circle, and that's where the arrow ends.
Correct.
And do you have any information at all about the victim's body, where it came from, where the people were moving from, or whatever? Do you have any independent information about the victim's body, when it was shot, how it was shot, anything like that?
No.
You were just told that is where you want to do the measurement from, right?
Correct.
And finally, ZZ, H as in house, the last picture. This is like a Google map of it, right?
Looks that way, yes.
And this is one of your photos, right?
No.
No, not one of your photos, right? But it's submitted. Up on top, you see the top right-hand corner, we have a legend.
Yes.
And what are those numbers? Can you guess what those numbers are?
Coordinates.
And what's another term for coordinates?
GPS.
GPS,
Location.
okay. And can you read those out for me, what that coordinates are?
31.353043 dash 110.802392.
Would that be a minus, not a dash? Would you know?
Correct, that's a minus.
Okay. And then on the map, you have a yellow pin. Why don't you can draw on that. Why don't you draw for me instead of me doing that? Draw me where the yellow pin's at. Okay, and erase it for me. Erase that left bottom screen. All right, and is that the coordinates there?
Yes.
Okay, so the coordinates are associated with the yellow pin.
Yes.
And the yellow pin is where the victim's body was found.
I'm assuming yes.
I'm assuming yes.
I'm going to show you Defense Exhibit KK. We've got two photos here. One, I believe, is a defense photo. Let me just mark these properly. Let me go through them properly here. KK, we're going to do the first one. A is an alpha. Photo 1 of KK. Remember testifying about that photograph?
That I've seen it?
I'm just 2 seconds ago, you testified.
Yes.
All right. Do you know what direction it is?
No.
No. Okay. I'm going to show you the next photo. This is KKE as an elephant. This is further down it's almost the same photo as the first one, as A as an alpha. Do you know what direction that photo is from?
No.
No. The last picture in this assortment is KKF as in Frank. That's a different photo, right?
Yes.
Do you know what direction that photo has been taken?
No.
No. Now I'm going to go back to KK, B as in boy, C as in Charlie, D as in dad. So we've got seemingly two different photos here. I'm going to show you KKB as in boy. That's a photo looking at the direction of where your arrow was matching cone to cone, right?
It appears, yes.
All right. Do you know if this is a defense photo or a government photo? Are you aware?
No.
Are you aware of the height taken from this photo?
No.
So we don't know the height of the photographer of this photo, do we?
I don't.
I'm going to show you government exhibit defense exhibit KKD as in dog. See that photo?
Yes.
This is actually a government photo. And you see the direction, the same photo type, same kind of viewing on this photo, right?
Yes.
Are you aware of the height of the photographer on this photo?
No.
No. But let me take a look. Do you see if you can't scan all the way out in the horizon, you see from the top of that pit, right? You see that pit, scan all the way out to that horizon. You see where that landscape ends up there?
Yes.
Is that that's the ground, right? That where the light space ends, that's the top of there's a slight elevation here, right?
Correct.
And that's the top, right?
Yes.
And as we look at this photo from patio cone to where the victim cone is at, as you look from this angle, is there anything obstructing your view to where the victim's body is found?
No.
I'm going to ask you too, also, your drone is one of those expensive big ones, I'm sure, right?
It's an Alto.
Well, I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's a brand is Alto. It's AUTEL. Believe it's worth about $3,500.
$3,500. Is it like a 4-wing propeller thing?
Yes.
Right. Expensive. A lot of training on that.
Yes.
And can you do like a physical measurement with your hands? Like give a guesstimate.
How big is it?
Yeah. How big is that?
I'll say maybe right around this big.
It's like a big 15-screen laptop kind of thing?
Yes, almost like the screen that I have right here.
Computer monitor?
Yes.
Okay. So if you fly in that terrain, it's going to get snagged on some stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, I'm just going to ask you probably one of the most obvious questions, but that drone, the size of your screen, it's much bigger than a bullet, right?
Yes.
Right. So the questions I have here.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Hold on a second. I forgot. Any questions for this witness from members of the jury? All right. Here's no. I think the state can call us next witness.
All right. No jury questions. Counter remains at 2. A 15-inch wide drone is not a huge drone. It's not a racing drone, but it's a very compact drone.
I'm sorry, sir. No.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
This officer's in his full body armor, vest, everything.
Good afternoon, officer. Can you state your name and spell your name for court reporter and for the jury?
Yes, Pedro Felix.
I should spell it too.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Pedro.
I asked you to spell it too.
FBLX.
Can you briefly introduce yourself to the jury for us?
Yes, good morning. I am Corporal Felix of the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office. I'm currently assigned to the Patrol Division.
Pedro Felix. That's how I would have said it, but he says it differently. So.
And how long have you been with Santa Cruz Sheriff's Department?
Total for well over 15, 16 years.
You became involved in this case at some point, right?
Correct.
Who notified you and told you you need to work some part of this case? Who gave you instruction?
Sergeant Rodriguez.
What was your main job in this case?
My main job was I relieved Sergeant Rodriguez and just safekeep the body.
Okay, so you're familiar where the victim's body was located?
Correct.
And you relieved Sergeant Rodriguez, that was a night shift duty, right?
It was 7:24 p.m.
PM, until when?
I left at 1:43 in the morning.
And why'd you leave?
That's when everything was collected, and I left after the body and the lighting equipment was picked up, and I was told to leave.
So there's lighting equipment there?
Yes.
And then who picked up the body, do you recall?
Myself and evidence custodian Luis Gonzalez.
And where was the body going?
To the Martinez Funeral Home.
You also conducted, or you also did some GPS coordinates.
Correct.
And so, do you recall what you did GPS coordinates for what?
For the actual body.
And do you recall what those coordinates were?
Not off memory.
Your permission to approach a witness. It just shows you it's been marked as Government Exhibit 1.2. That's your report, is it right? Is that correct? I want you to just review that real quick, look up when you're done. You ready? Did that report refresh your recollection?
Yes.
What were the coordinates?
It's going to be 31.35304 by negative 110.0239.
You also, I'm going to come and get that report. Can I just do counsel and judge for
I'm going to pull that up in Google Earth. We're going to look at that spot.
You also included those coordinates into a Google map, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't do a Google map?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I'm going to show you what's marked as Exhibit 73.
Which is a Google map.
And it is an alpha. You don't recall? Is it on your screen?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got your screen in 2 seconds. You recall that photo?
Yes.
You reviewed that photo, right?
Yes.
And that photo captures the GPS coordinates you measured on the day of?
Yes.
Is that red dot, is that reflective of the GPS coordinate where the victim's body was found?
Yes.
I'm going to show you Government Exhibit 73. B, just a different photo. You see that photo?
Yes.
Is that the same coordinates?
Correct.
Red dot indicating the GPS coordinates?
Yes.
Are those fair and accurate representations of the GPS coordinates you took?
Yes.
Finally, Government Exhibit 73C is in Charlie. You see that photo?
Yes.
And the red dot is attributed to the GPS coordinates that you took?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate representation?
Yes.
Move to admit 73 A, B, and C, Your Honor.
I I just need clarification, Your Honor. I'm looking at the state's exhibit list, and 73 doesn't seem to match what is being presented, so I'm just confused what they are.
You're on the line, what number do you have? We'll renumber these. We'll renumber these for the record.
No, I think that's correct.
We have
Not to be charged.
one second. 1 second.
Just leave it. Just leave it the way it is, at 73, and you can remark whatever exhibit was erroneously marked.
Fair enough.
Okay, can I see what it is then, because it doesn't describe it.
I punched the address into the GPS, but it's not. I'm not seeing the house.
Sir, were you able to see the photos on your screen?
Yes.
And did you mark up these photos yourself?
I plot them. They did plot them.
Okay, and it was based off of what, sir?
What we use is CalTopo. What I use is CalTopo. It's a mapping application which allows us to mark and look up GPS coordinates.
How did you, on that date, you had to start with something accurate to make it marked up? I just don't understand. How did you get the coordinates at that date?
So when I relieved Sergeant Rodriguez, I stood next to the body with my application, which has a GPS on it. There's a button where I press and it gives me my exact location. Then I'm able to mark that location into, there's layers, maps, depends on how I have it, and it gets recorded. So that's how.
And is this coordinates that are plus minus have room for a little bit of error, or is it precision exact? I mean, if you took one step to the left, would it still say the same coordinate?
No.
Okay, it would be a different coordinate.
Yes.
Okay, then I have no objection, Charlie.
Exhibit 73, A, B, and C is admitted.
I'm just going to publish, permission to publish just 73A as an alpha. A 73A as an alpha, you recognize that photo, right?
Yes.
That's one of the ones we're talking about, right?
Yes.
That red dot reflects what?
Depends where I marked the location.
The GPS location
The GPS location of the body.
that you were there for,
Yes.
right? Just 1 second, Your Honor.
They just set the Robert Tellis trial date for May 1st, 8:30 a.m.
Just 1 second, Your Honor. Be good organized.
Somebody able to go back and get those coordinates, those GPS coordinates? The way I've typed them in, I mean, I'm down by the border,
show you
but it's just not showing.
Assuming it's
Right
been
here.
marked as Exhibit 35 for the government. Just us, no publication. I'm going to show you some photographs of the evening of, okay? All right, I'm going to show you, I'm going to label this 35A. 35A is an alpha. You recognize that photograph?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of what you saw on the night of?
Yes.
Is that the victim's body?
Yes.
I'm going to show you, I'm going to mark this 35B. B is in boy. Another photograph. Recognize that?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as, say, Exhibit C is in Charlie. Is that upside down or
upside down?
Is this a fair and accurate representation?
Yes.
I'll show you what's been marked 35D. Is that fair and accurate representation?
Yes.
And you were on scene, right?
Correct.
And you watched over the victim's body for what it seemed approximately 4 hours, right?
From 7:24 to 1:30.
Oh, more than that. More than that. 6 hours.
Somewhere around.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been marked the Exhibit 35E is an echo. Do you see that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
I'll show you marked as Government Exhibit 35F, as in Frank. Recognize that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
I'll show you Government Exhibit 35G, as in giraffe. Recognize that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
G is in giraffe.
I'll show you Government Exhibit 35H, as in house. Fair, you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
I'll show you Government Exhibit 35I, as in indigo. You recognize that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
Just a few more. I'll show you Government Exhibit 35J, as in Jenga.
J is in
You
Jenga?
recognize that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
What is this guy doing?
I'll show you Government Exhibit 35K. You recognize that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
I'm going to show you Government Exhibit 35L, as in Lima. Recognize that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
My last one for you. I'm going to show you Government Exhibit 35M, as in Mike. Recognize that photo?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
We're moved to admit governments 35A through M into evidence.
No objections, Your Honor.
35A through M are admitted.
Permission to publish, Your Honor? All right, this is 35A, as in Apple. What's that picture of?
That is a picture of the decedent, the body.
Do you have any directionality here? Do you know what direction you're facing? The body's facing?
The body was facing towards the south.
Okay, and so to the right is, what's to the right, do you know? You were there for 6 hours. What's
South to the right would be west, left. Well, if I'm facing to the body, the right is going to be east, the left's going to be, correction, the right's going to be west, body's going to be east, right to the east. But he's facing kind of south and east.
This could be probably easier. Where is the Kelly residence in relationship to this body?
The Kelly residence from the body was, well, the body from the Kelly residence, backyard of the Kelly residence was somewhere southeast.
Well, look at the photo. If I look at the photo, where's the house?
Towards, forward, a little bit north of it to the west. Kind of.
Can we just, is it to the right, left, up, or down?
Bodies, the houses should be a little bit forward from the feet and to the right.
To the right.
This guy's all over the place.
I'm not going to say you're directionally challenged, but that's... I will show you Exhibit 35B as in boy. Is that another photograph of the victim's body?
Yes.
We're seeing the legs, right? We see the torso to the left?
Yes.
We see the boots and the pants, right?
Yes.
.35C is in Charlie. What's that a photograph of?
The upper torso of the decedent man who was with his backpack.
And that, what color?
Camel.
No, what color shirt is that?
It was kind of bluish, greenish type color.
And the color of the pants?
Khaki.
And what color of the backpack?
Was it camouflage?
And where's that backpack on him?
Where's it on?
Where is it on his body?
It's on his shoulders, like strap on his shoulder.
Would it be fair, is it over his head too?
Yes.
.35D, as in David. Another photograph of the body, right?
Yes.
That shows from a different angle?
Yes.
.35E is an echo. What's that a photo of?
The same body.
Different angle, right?
Different angle.
But we see something different in the towards the bottom left, right? What's on his shirt?
What's some dark stains?
What are the? Do you know what the dark stains are?
Look.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 35F as in Frank. Another photograph, a different angle, right?
Correct.
And what? And that backpack is to the right.
Correct.
And that's you already testified. Over his shoulder, over his head.
Yes.
.35G. It's in giraffe. Another photograph, right?
Yes, on the feet.
How tall is that grass, by the way?
Probably a couple of feet.
Couple of feet? Right. You're from Arizona, right?
Yes.
From the area here?
Yes.
That grass is common in southern Arizona?
Yes.
If someone were to crouch down and hide, would it be easy to hide in that kind of grass?
Yes.
If you're looking for something in that kind of grass, would it be easy to miss something?
Okay.
.35H. What's that photograph of?
Of the blood stain.
Close up, right?
Yes.
And we have, just so we orient ourselves, we see the backpack to the right.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. There's a strap of some sort. You can draw on your monitor too. There's a strap. I'm highlighting this strap right here.
No objections in this trial whatsoever.
You see that?
Yes.
Do you know if he had like also a fanny pack?
Yes.
All right. Would you know? Do you have any recollection if that's a strap of the fanny pack?
I don't.
Okay. And then we've got some kind of antenna, something over here.
Okay.
See that? Do you recall what that is?
Yes, a radio.
Radio. .35I is an indigo. And that's a close-up shot of the shoulder area of the victim's body, right?
Yes.
You see where that backpack is at?
Yes. .35J, as in Jenga.
close-up photo of the radio, right?
Correct.
.35K, the kangaroo, that photo close-up of the left side of the victim's body, lower
Kangaroo.
area.
Correct.
And 35L is in Lima, close-up of his right leg.
Yes.
And finally, we have 35M as in Mike. It's a close-up of the left leg.
Correct.
That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Questions of me?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Come on.
Do you get addressed by Deputy Felix, or how do we address you?
No matter.
You don't want me to say, hey, you, do you?
Deputy, corporal.
Deputy? Corporal? You're a corporal?
Deputy or corporal.
All right. So
Whatever.
how long at this time have you been, since you went to the academy?
How long?
Yes, sir.
I went to 2005. 2005. September 2005. That's when.
And when you were in the academy, you are trained to handle different situations, including crime scenes. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And when you got to the scene, you were not the first officer guarding the body, were you?
No.
And who was guarding it first, to your knowledge?
Sergeant Omar Rodriguez.
Now, when you go to a crime scene, what's your job as an officer guarding that particular location? What would your job be?
To not allow anybody, any unauthorized people to go over there and touch, tamper with the body itself.
So are you allowed to touch and tamper?
No.
So when you say touch it or whatever, you're basically making sure no one touches, moves, alters, does anything until the right people get to the scene. Is that right?
Right.
And what type of right people would that be?
Crime investigators.
Crime investigators. Who were your crime investigators?
Well, the people that got there was, at the time, Joseph Bunting, Jorge Inza, Alonso Flores, and Mario Barba.
What's the last one?
Mario Barba.
Okay, but usually the lead detective is not necessarily the one that's working the crime scene. Who is designated to work the actual crime scene? To your knowledge on this date, was January 30th going into the 31st. Who took photographs?
Alonso Flores.
Flores?
These witnesses had zero prep. Zero.
Who analyzed the body and positioning and drew maps and all that stuff? Who was doing that?
I believe Alonso Flores and Mario Barba over there.
So it would be proper procedures to wait for the crime scene investigators to come to the body before anything is done in that location. Is that correct?
Correct.
If who is normally designated in training procedures to respond to a body and protect it? Who would be the first person to do that?
The first officer on scene.
First officer? Police officer? Okay. And is it proper procedures to also have some kind of log of who enters the location and leaves the location of a crime scene?
Yes.
Are you aware of that being done?
I believe so.
Okay. Do you know who did it?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Deputy Lopez.
Now, when you get there, the crime scene's very dark, correct?
Yes.
And there were a lot of photos shown to you, and I'd like to go back over them, but my understanding is, will you agree that your job is to make sure no one else enters until the right authority comes into the scene, and that would be crime scene officers, correct? Okay. So your buddy can't go up there, someone that was patrolling with you shouldn't be up there. You're protecting that body in that location, correct?
Yes.
What's the reason?
Integrity. To keep the body integrity.
Keep it what?
But to keep the body integrity, to make sure there's nobody contaminates or anything like that.
Okay. So the integrity, so that proper information will filter down the pathway of the investigation, correct?
Yes.
The proper information will go to the medical examiner, correct?
Correct.
The proper information would get to the detective to review, correct?
Correct.
And ultimately, that proper information would be reflected in this courtroom, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so if something is altered, that basically attacks the integrity of the crime scene, doesn't it?
Yes.
And you didn't do that, did you?
No.
And you don't know if it was done prior to you getting there, do you?
No.
Those are good questions. You're not the person that altered all the evidence, were you? Okay, so I think I've got the GPS coordinates worked out. I found the house. I'm looking at it here.
Okay, I'm going to show you some photos that the state just went over with you quickly, and that's state's number 35, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to start with A. Do you notice some straps, what might be the fanny pack or to the, well, it's off to the side by the right hip. Do you notice that?
Yes.
Did you notice when you were guarding the body there was a backpack and a fanny pack?
Initially it didn't.
Pardon?
Initially it didn't.
What does that mean?
When I got there, I just saw the body. I didn't see the fanny pack until it was removed.
Until it was removed?
Well, it was when CAD got there and started checking the body.
So these photos are after removed?
These are first. These photos are before.
Before it was removed. But do you see this thing running along the side of the body here?
Yes.
Okay. Something went through. Where it's marked with a red dot. Okay.
I erased it, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So that appears to be a fanny pack, correct?
Okay.
Would you agree?
Could be.
Okay. And a fanny pack is usually worn on your body. Would you agree?
Typically, yes.
And there is some photos that you may or may not be aware of, but fanny packs are often now worn on the front of your chest. It's the common youthful way of wearing a fanny pack. Have you seen that out there before?
Way.
I have.
Okay. And does that appear that this fanny pack is being worn at this moment?
No.
Did you take it off the body?
No.
Do you know who took it off the body?
No.
So, if a person's traveling in this terrain, he's probably wearing whatever he has on him. His fanny pack, his backpack, would you agree? If you're hiking?
Typically.
Yes. And so you have no idea why this fanny pack is to the side?
No.
You don't know, have any idea if someone tried to rob him of the contents of this fanny pack, do you?
No.
So you have no idea how this might have got pulled from the front chest of this person that is being photographed?
No.
I'm going to show you B again, or B again, reflecting the fanny pack on there. Seems to be along his side of his body, correct?
Correct.
Now, you didn't take these photos, in all fairness, correct?
No.
But you did see this person laying there,
Yes.
as reflected by the photos.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to show you what is now C, I believe, 35C. There is a backpack sitting over this gentleman's head. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did you notice that the backpack was unzipped?
No.
You never noticed it?
No.
Okay. Let me show you some photos that are not in the state's photos, may be similar or some may be duplicative. But I'm going to show you Defense Exhibit SS, and I'm going to let the state see it.
Duplicative or duplicative? Which one's right?
And I'm going to tender it to the witness. Thank you, Judge.
I don't believe he has public defenders.
Okay. Now, does this look like the same person in the photos that you are seeing that have already been published?
Yes.
Okay, so this accurately depicts also just a different angle zoomed in of the deceased?
Yes.
Okay. And you want to look at the rest, you can. Have you had a chance to review these photos?
Yes.
The defense is marked as SS. Do these photos also accurately depict the body as you saw it?
Yes.
And you did say you were out there until the body actually was taken to the morgue?
Yes.
Okay. So you did watch or observe crime scene take some of these photos?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time I'd like to enter in Defense Exhibit SS.
Real quick, I'll just show the first one, okay? Just take a peek at the other. No objection.
Exhibit SS is admitted.
I've got the aerial view. I'll show you on the lunch break. I'll play with it a little bit.
We're going to have to get
Why are we
past
zooming
this.
in
I
on the paper?
apologize that we have to look a little more closer to a face. But if this is important, and this is Exhibit A, and I'm more directing more in all respect. Trying to cover up the face just a little bit. I'm
It's probably a
reflecting
graphic
here
image.
more the backpack, okay? So being sensitive to a partial face being shown, I covered up the face a little bit. But do you notice that this backpack is unzipped?
Yes.
Okay. Do you notice it appears to be unbuckled?
Yes.
You didn't unzip it, did you?
No.
You didn't raise it above his head, did you?
No.
You didn't see any other officers did it because you were guarding on your watch, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you never heard about anyone else doing it up to this point, right?
No.
Content warning.
While you were there, were you still waiting for someone to start taking these photos?
Yes.
Okay, so they came after you took over and guarded?
Yes.
And again, the person that was guarding it first was whom?
Sergeant Omar Rodriguez.
I'm going to show you photo B, defense exhibit, again, still on SS. We're still looking at the backpack, or the fanny pack, off to the side, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to show you, I believe we're on C. I'm going to point to the board up here. You see the backpack?
Yes.
Is the head positioned a little bit underneath that backpack at this time? And we're going to go back to the state's exhibit for comparison. Or, actually, this is mine.
It sounds like they're trying to get at the fact that someone might have moved the body or opened up the
State's
backpack
35. Just to compare it real quick.
before the investigators got to the scene.
Just a little bit different angle, correct?
Yes.
And nestled in the tall grass, you can kind of start to see a head in there, correct?
Yes.
And that backpack is literally on top of them.
Yes.
All right. Did you notice this backpack also had a waist buckle?
No.
You didn't get to see that. Okay? So, we got an open backpack above his head, and we don't know why it's like that, correct?
Correct.
And I'm going to show you the next photo in SS, and we're now at D. Once again, we've got a different angle, but we got the backpack reflected over his head because you could clearly see the bottom half of the subject and his back, clearly away from the backpack, correct?
Correct.
Not in a normal position, would you agree?
No.
These problems are, the problem with this is that all the pictures are taken by law enforcement. And the pictures were all supposed to be pre-medical examiner check. And so now it looks like someone's gone through the backpack after law enforcement got there, but before the medical examiner, I guess they collected the body. If the defendant moved him, then he was there with police. Because the police took photos, and then in additional police photos, it sounds like the body's been moved.
Now, at some point, we got a cut strap, correct? Looks like it.
Right.
Okay. And that is the backpack still, right? It's camouflaged?
Yes.
Or is this the fanny pack? Can you tell?
I can't tell. It looks like a bed.
Okay. I think we're on F. Let's go through this. You can see the belt line of the deceased, correct? He seems to have a belt on or something, is that right?
Looks like it.
I think we're on G. Again, you got a better view of the backpack literally on top of his head, right?
Yes.
And possibly some straps that are not buckled up, correct?
Correct.
Most backpacks have a loop at the top, would you agree? And you grab your backpack with it, a little loop.
Some.
I think objections are illegal in Arizona. I don't know why all the speculation is allowed.
Did you observe crime scene once they did get there? Did you kind of hang out there with them?
I stayed.
Okay. Did you observe them rummaging through his personal effects?
I believe they were taking photographs of the interior of the backpack.
So let me show you the last one in here of this grouping.
He said that, and then he looked over at the prosecution table.
Which I believe is K. It appears that crime scene, and I'm sure you're going to say this is not you, right? You're not doing this.
Yes, that wasn't me.
Someone from crime scene has gloves on, correct?
Correct.
Oops, wrong one. And do you know why they wear gloves?
Well, I guess for one, to not contaminate the item, and obviously for safety reasons also.
Okay, so it's kind of you agree it's a protection for both. One, to keep the evidence from being contaminated, right?
Correct.
In case there's DNA, fingerprints, or whatever that might be needed later, right?
Correct.
But also, we are possibly dealing with blood, and that's also to protect the officer, right?
Correct.
All right. Now, this is the fanny pack. Would you agree?
Yes.
You have any idea why it's half empty?
No.
Okay, you were unsure of that whether he was wearing a buckle or a belt, and I'm going to go back to States 35, and you can clearly see there is a leather belt, correct?
Correct.
When you said you saw a blood-stained item, that would be just a good logical guess, correct?
Correct.
You're not a chemist in any ways, correct?
Correct.
You didn't see a lot of blood around the body, did you?
No, not that I can recall.
Yes. And you said, did someone bring out some lighting around the body?
Yes.
Are you aware of how big of an area was created around the body to make it a crime scene?
No.
So you don't know how far you can let someone come in or out? You're guarding the body.
Yes.
Only the body?
Only
Or
the
what
body.
about the location around the body?
I was instructed the body.
Pardon?
I was only instructed the body.
So anyone that walked around, as long as they didn't touch the body, was okay?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, as far as you were concerned, on your orders.
Orders were the body.
Okay. So my question was, if I came 3 feet away from the body, that was okay. You just didn't want them to touch the body.
Not necessarily.
You let them come 3 feet around the body
No.
to look?
No.
Well, how far out did you keep people from coming around the body? That was my question.
The only people that got there were the body were evidence. The crime scene investigators.
Were you aware that there were dogs all around the body?
I know ATF got there.
So you didn't see the homeowner's dogs at all?
No.
You would admit, though, if you were the first officer at the scene, which you were not on this day, but if you were, based on your training, and a body was discovered, you would first look to see if the person needed medical care?
Yes.
And if they didn't, you would have protected the body and waited for crime scene?
Can you repeat that?
And if the person appeared to be deceased, did not need any medical care, would you then just stand there and protect the body until backup and crime scene got there?
Correct.
That is what your training is, correct?
Correct.
So you wouldn't personally touch the body?
No.
I'll pass the witness.
Read the record.
Let's talk about first, always I start off with recency. Last question pertained to who was around the body or who you allowed to be around the body. Remember those questions?
Yes.
Is this an urban area or a very rural area?
A rural?
Huh?
A rural area?
No one's around, right?
Yes.
There's no one mulling around the area?
Correct.
The only people there are you and then CID comes?
Yes.
So there's no one to guard off from contaminating the area, is there?
Correct.
Let me ask you, you weren't there when the body was first discovered, were you?
No.
And you were not involved with the processing, right?
No.
So there's two bookends here. You're not familiar with what happened with the officers on scene when they got there, for example, Sergeant Rodriguez.
Correct.
And you didn't partake in the processing of the scene.
No.
Your job was to stand guard and be a sentinel.
Correct.
Would you have any knowledge if the backpack was cut to check for life signs?
No.
Would you have any knowledge that the backpack was open for processing?
No.
Backpack was
Would you have
open
any
to check
knowledge?
for life signs?
I mean, there were some questions about this fanny pack. Let me just go back general. You're not aware of everyone's proclivity of how to wear a fanny pack, are you?
Correct.
You're not aware if the fanny pack was attached to the backpack, are you?
No.
Instead of being around him, it was attached to the backpack. You're not aware of that, are you?
No.
And you wouldn't have comment or opinion about what may or may not be in a backpack or a fanny pack, do you?
No.
Proclivity, word of
You
the day.
didn't take these photos, did you?
No.
Some of these photos were, you don't know if they were before or after, do you?
Correct.
I asked you to identify if they were fair and accurate representations of what you recall, right?
Correct.
And you can't tell on which bookend, before or after, do you?
No.
That's for someone else to do, right?
Yes.
That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step down.
I'm going to ask the judge, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Hold on, sir. I apologize. Any questions for the witness? We do have a question.
We do have a question. Look at this. We get to run the counter. We'll turn the sound off for just a minute. The judge is going to put on his headset, start the Pink Floyd, start singing along. It's reading the question. The counsel on both tables also have headsets. This is their method of doing a sidebar. It's more like a jam session. Waiting for everyone to be on. He says, okay, I'll read the question. It says, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Hello? He's lifting a paper up to cover his mouth so that the jury can't see him read the question the jury members wrote. Cameraman's not sure what he's supposed to be filming. I can tell you it's not the jury. This is day 1 of testimony. Witness number 2. Let's see. Wait for the headsets to come off. And they're adjusting each other's headphones. Still white noise. White noise, white noise, white noise. Still discussion. Prosecutors are shaking their head a little bit. Not a big fan of the sound. Or the question, I should say.
All right, question from one of the jurors is, in relation to the first photograph, first picture of the body, what direction is the house? I think the lawyers think you're referring to Exhibit 35A.
I will show you what's been marked as Government Exhibit 35A as an apple. You recall that photograph?
Hold on. So, is that the photograph, juror number 10, that you are referring to?
Yes.
And you want to know what direction is the house?
Yes.
All right, very well. Do you know, can you understand that?
The body is facing in the south direction, so if you're looking at, like I'm looking at, which view, the house is going to be to the right. Okay, thank you. I'm just saying.
This officer is incredibly directionally impaired.
Question to the clerk. And any other questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you, sir. You can step down.
Another sidebar. We'll go ahead and kill the audio so you don't listen to the white noise. So this officer, at one point, he said when he was asked basically that same question at the beginning of his testimony, he said that the house would be southeast. One time he said it was northwest. Upon clarification,
I thought it was a very short witness. We might put the witness on before lunch, but we're going to recess for lunch. It's 11:45. Please be back in the jury room at 1:30. Trial will recommence at 1:30.
It's 11:45. It's 1:30. You get an hour and 45 minutes. Oh my goodness! We're seeing jurors' hands. Seriously. Oh. Somebody leans the wrong direction, and suddenly Jurors are walking out. There we go. All right, I think they're almost all gone here. It's time to take a nap. No, we can't take a nap yet. We're going to go ahead and hit the maps now. We're going to hit the maps. So for that, let's do this. Let's go right here. We're going to bring in Google Earth. Google Earth is it's a fun little tool. Hang on. Okay, so ready, camera 3, take 3, and go full screen. All right, Google Earth Pro. This is the house in question. This is the defendant's house. You can see in the backyard, he has this pergola something. We're looking for a smoker. I've got a call really quickly.
Call from
Braxton.
Hey, Braxton, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing great. I was trying to show really quickly the spacing of this house. If we rotate the house around just a tiny bit, because I think we had a smoker we were supposed to shoot over, right? In theory, I think the smoker.
Yeah.
I think the smoker might be right back here. Is that a possibility?
That looks about right.
Okay,
from what they were showing.
So we're going to zoom out to about like this, and I'm going to bring up the measuring tool because we can measure exact distances with this. And the pin that they placed for shooting was right here, sort of by the pergola, and we know that because one of the legs of the pergola was in the way of the shot, right? So it was one of the things that possibly could have been obstructing the view. So we measure from right here, and I'm going to stretch this out. We know exactly that's 349 almost 350 feet, and I'm going to measure 350 feet. And you're surprising how short that distance is, right? Okay, because when you stretch the line out like this, it's basically like 2 or 3 widths of the house, but about 350 feet, and we could go in a circle and sort of show that measurement of where it's at. It gets a little bit wider out here. So we're not sure exactly where it is. It's possibly, it could be out this direction, over the smoker, if that is the smoker right here. It's possible it could be out here near this group of trees. About 350 feet is right there.
Was he shooting from outside the house?
Yes, out by the back patio. But he says he shot up in the air. But really there's just not much. Let me go ahead and zero that out. As far as the lay of the land, let's zoom out just a tiny bit. Here's the southern border, right? So right here, this yellow line on the bottom, this is the United States and Mexico border. And so we're not far from that. The residence where this was fired from is right up. Let's see. Now I lost it. No, it's right up here. It's right up here. Right there. So it's, not sure. It's a fairly remote area. There's the Keno Springs area, so there's a little ways out of town. It's got this dirt road, a mile or two of dirt road to get away outside of Keno Springs. But lots of terrain. You can see that these are little valleys, little hills and valleys. But if you look at the actual area around the house itself, and we go down into, let's see if we can do a street view. Ready? Let's drag this guy down here. Can we get a street view? Here we go. It looks like Kansas. I'm sorry. The Google Earth is not very good out here. It's completely flat. The world is flat according to this, but let's see. Tip it a little bit. Yeah, it's just really hard to portray the rise and the falls here of the different valleys. But there is some terrain, definitely, because you can see shadow. Like the shadow on one side, it's darker on this side of the hill way over there than it is on the other. You can see,
it looks like it's a little valley.
Yeah. But if you were just looking at the house, the house and see like over here specifically, this house is sort of like on a little flat, right? This whole area, I'll put the house in the middle of the screen and zoom in. This whole area around here is very flat. And now throw the measurement back up. Move this out of the way as far as I can. We're going to go 350 feet from this back patio. Let's drop a little point right there. So 350 feet to the right is right here. So that's pretty flat. And then you can sort of go in a circle around here. Yeah, there's a dip down to the south, but I don't think he was shooting through that direction. It was either going to be north or sort of north or west or east, sorry. But, 350
I can't remember. Does Google Earth have a topographical map feature? Because you might be able to see the topographical actually what it looks like.
Let's see. Topo.
Yeah, I think they might have a layer over it.
Maybe if I go to the web version. Okay, sunlight. Maybe this will help if I can do sunlight. The slider for the shadows. No, it just thinks it's completely flat. There's no terrain whatsoever. I think the problem is going to be it's out just so remote. Add an image overlay. Let's see, the view would be. No, that's just adding a picture on top of it. That's not it.
All right.
Anyway, what'd you call for? Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Now I'm looking for topographical maps. So we're both on tangents now.
Yes.
I was looking for, all right, let's get back on track. ADHD is running wild.
Yes, it is.
So my thought is, I think the fence is setting up a robbery idea. I think they're trying to say that someone else shot him, and it was a robbery.
Yeah, I don't believe it was a cartel hit. They have a distinct style.
No, I don't either.
And I don't think that would have been cartel hit. His hands would have been tied, and he would have been just left in the street somewhere.
I'm thinking he had a disagreement with a friend, ran into another group of people, like nothing as big as the cartel, like just strictly argument. Someone gets shot because they said that he heard a shot, then he went outside.
Yeah.
And shot in the air.
Yeah.
So if it was just him getting shot by someone else, then robbed by them, I think it's plausible right now based on the evidence.
Yeah, I can see that. I know people are saying it was supposed to be across a road and 2 fence lines. Let me zoom back in on the map really quickly, and we'll take a look, see if we can find a road and 2 fence lines to put this on. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Okay, if it was across a road, Blackbird squeaks. Hang on one second. I'll get to you here in a bit. Let's see, 2 fence lines. I've got a dog outside that's going nuts. Okay, this looks like a fence line right here. Here's one. But you've got to get 350 feet. This is the problem. You've got to get 350 feet from the house and a road and 2 fence lines. I can't see how to get that distance unless this is the road right here. If this is the road, let me finish turning this. That. If this is the road straight up above it, this little, let's do a pin or measurement. Sorry, my eyes aren't good enough. I need to zoom in. If the road is up here and we're measuring from the road, there we could possibly get there because we've got about 276 feet to that one. So fence line number 1, possible fence line number 2. Let's see. So if we shoot from right by the house and get to right here, boom, I think we might have it. There's 347 feet in that line right there.
Okay.
347, but that's right through all the trees. It's like tree through everything.
All right. From what I can tell, it's about a straight shot.
I'm going to reorient us north. North is up now. Possibly right here. 349 feet roughly. Move the other end down here. Okay, so there you've got a little bit of a clearing possible, and that could be the location where his body was found. So there's a possibility. 350 feet. That's really close to a house. I mean, if it was going to be a robbery, for it to happen that close to the civilization or somebody, that seems a bit strange.
Yeah, can you zoom out a little bit more real quick? I'm looking at a topographical map at the moment and judging the distances, because this is wild. Okay, so sagebrush, and sagebrush goes down. Okay. Wild. Yeah, he's really out there.
It's very, very remote. He's right just north of the border. I mean, you can't get much closer to the border and still be in the country. And I don't know his property location, but he's got 173 acres. So there's a chunk of land around here that's his as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I think I'm going to save this. I think that's probably the most likely. I'll put it right here. I think that's probably the most likely angle or location.
Yeah, we're talking about a 2-foot elevation change at most, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's really, really flat. You've got 2 foot of weeds. Okay, the grass is 2 feet tall, and then shrubs maybe 8 to 10 feet where those trees are. They're not like monstrous trees, but I'd say under 20 feet tall for the trees.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. We've saved this.
From his house to where we've decided elevation where we decided it's 4,035 feet elevation. His approximate location, 4,036. Like, it's flat.
I'm going to see if I can share a link to Google Earth so you guys, or the online version, so you guys who want to play with this will have access to this.
And if you want the topographical map for any reason, it's at the usgs.gov.
Yes, good stuff there.
So the U.S. Geological Service.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that they're trying to set up that he was shot by someone else, robbed, and the bullet just went in the air.
Yeah. Braxton, I've got Blackbird Squeaks on the line. Let me.
Sounds great.
Good talking to you. Thanks for calling. Let me sidetrack you a little bit.
Yeah, in a bit.
All right, we'll see you. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Call from
KU Cab.
What? Are you mad that I said something about Kansas?
There are way flatter states out there. I swear to God.
Nebraska is pretty flat.
Iowa, and I'm from Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
and Iowa has some bluffy spots, so I'm not roasting any other state, but as a person who got their master's degree from the University of Kansas, who has a pair of KU calves, I just have to say you might have got yourself in trouble.
I'm a little bit in trouble. I will tell you, I live 60 feet above sea level, and I can drive for 2 hours to get to the ocean, and barely. You can't see the drop. It's pretty flat where I'm at as well. At least we have tall trees to give us the impression of elevation changes. But
I just had to call and say that. I was just roasting you a little bit.
I saw the KU comments in chat. I knew it was coming. Kansas is fairly flat, though.
Only half of the state.
Steve N says you guys have a hill. You have a hill in Kansas.
A hill. A hill. Okay. I'm gonna take you on it. I'm gonna put it on my channel. I'm gonna take you on a tour of the KU Hills, and it'll just be for another day. So I appreciate the combo.
Okay, I'm just saying. I've walked around. Campuses like, I don't know. Let's see. Utah State University. Utah State University, who has a hill so steep that they made it that, I mean, people have been have died riding their bikes down it and crashing. Okay,
No, I believe that. But I didn't want to say it, but there is a grad student who did die in the back because they rolled down the hill. They might have been drunk. I don't know. But there is a little bit of history. But, until you see it, you might not believe it. But I'll take you on a little tour on my channel.
All right. Sounds good. I'll watch.
We'll do
it.
it. We'll make it right.
I'll look for the little
All
bump on the landscape.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Thank you, Blackbird.
All right.
Good talking to you.
All right.
We'll see
Bye.
you. Bye. All right. We're gonna break for lunch. On that note, we're gonna come back here in about. Well, it starts in an hour and a half, so we're gonna come back in about an hour and 15 minutes. Remember, this is a court on the West Coast for all intents and purposes, Pacific time. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get through today. We're at the halfway mark now, even though we're at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to be working late tonight. You West Coasters are going to love it because they're finally on your schedule. But we're going to take a break. We're going to go to lunch. When we come back, we will have continuing, hopefully gripping testimony of this development. So far, I'll tell you this. It seems like the witnesses have not been prepped at all. We've got lawyers asking questions they don't know the answers to. 0 objections. I'm glad we didn't count objections because there have not been any so far. It's been terrible. And the leading, the speculation, even the relevance, the testifying that's been going on. It's a little bit strange how this Arizona court is functioning. But either way, there are some good pictures of the property on Zillow. Imagine there are. Let's see. Do they just charge this guy to try to warn people off being vigilantes, even though he wasn't one? I don't know. And I don't know where I stand on this one. I need to hear more testimony, more evidence to figure this out. I will say right now, there's definitely room for reasonable doubt with what the defense has told me is going to be coming in. And so I'm going to listen for that and see where it stands. But that said, it's lunchtime, or nap time, as some people call it. It was an early morning this morning. You guys know, if you guys were with us with the bridge coverage this morning. I'm very tired, very sleepy. And so in order to not fall asleep this afternoon, I might need to get some rest during lunch. So I will say this tonight: when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again. After lunch, it was an hour and 15 minutes. So 1:15, they're going to start at 1:30. It's been a weird Tuesday. It's gonna be one of those weeks that just lasts forever, right? It's gonna be like a permanent week. But you guys, have a good lunch. Be nice to each other. We'll see you afterwards. Bye. We're going to raid Peter Tragos when we're done, so we'll zip over there. You guys have a good time. Make sure you hit the like button when you land. Be nice to him. He's a great guy. We're going to raid LYK. See you guys after lunch. Bye-bye.
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way. Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.